Artifacts are the most important pieces of gear for your characters in Genshin Impact. Today we're going over the best sources of farmable artifacts, what roles these artifacts are going to be used with, and what you guys should be spending your time on as far as artifacts are concerned. So let's get right into it for you guys here. We're going to start off with the best physical damage dealer artifact set in the game. You're going to find this in the Hidden Palace of Zoo. This is going to be the Martial Artist set. The Martial Artist set is an absolute fantastic, hands down the best set for someone who wants to stick out on the field. This is going to be your main damage dealer, whoever is out there using their left click, using their charge attack, their normal attack all of the time. Whoever is getting support from your team, this is the set that you're going to use. This is because the Martial Artist set, the 2-piece bonus here, increases your normal in charge attack damage by 15%, and then the 4-piece increases it by another 25% after they use their elemental skill. So this is in total a 40% damage bonus, huge burst damage, and this gives an insane amount of damage due to the fact that this bonus is applied at the very end of the damage formula, increasing your damage by literally 40%. It's after your raw attack, after your percent attack bonuses for your character percent and your normal weapon percent. After everything, this is tacked onto there. So this is by far, hands down, the best set for someone like Diluc or Razor, who's out there on the field constantly doing normal attacks, constantly doing charge attacks. This is the end all be all for physical damage sets. Now, also moving away from physical damage and into elemental damage, whether it's an elemental damage character or a support character who you bring out on the field, take away, this is going to be also found in the Hidden Palace. This is the Crimson Witch of Flames set. This is for pyro damage characters. 2-piece set increases pyro damage bonus by 15%, and the 4-piece set increases the damage of overloaded and burning by 40%, as well as vaporize and melt by 15%. Using an elemental skill increases the 2-piece effect by 50% for 10 seconds. So if you're out there with someone constantly doing fire damage, this is amazing for those characters that are pyro based. You definitely want to go and get this set for those characters, especially if you're using elemental combinations for the overload in burning. This is going to be a fantastic set for someone like Xingling or any other pyro character that isn't really focused on doing physical attacks for the vast majority of their damage. This is focused on that elemental side of things. Now, sticking with the elemental damage theme, we're going to be moving on over to the Midsummer Courtyard and moving away from that pyro damage to the electro damage, the Thundering Fury set. Here, same thing, element damage, electro focus this time. The 2-piece set here, electro damage bonus plus 15%. Free damage for you for having this set right there. The 4-piece, though, is slightly different. It still increases overloaded as well as electro charge and superconduct damage bonuses by 40%. But the additional effect on top of that, instead of giving the 2-piece set that 50% increase, this is going to reduce the elemental skill cooldown by 1 second there, and this can only activate every 0.8 seconds. You are going to be combining this with another set that we're going to talk about very shortly, and where 2-piece bonuses on your Thunder character. So don't overfarm this stuff if you're working on just one Thunder character. For that electro damage bonus, you're going to be combining this with a set that can be found over in the Clear Pool, and this is going to be the set for you. So the Clear Pool in Mountain Cavern, we're going to be finding the Gambler set here. In this set here, the 2-piece increases all elemental skill damage by 20%. Because we're not really worried about that extra cooldown on your elemental skill. We're looking for bonus damage here for our Thunder characters. This right here, the 2-piece set, increases that damage by an additional 20%. The 4-piece here, defeating an enemy has a 100% chance to remove the elemental skill cooldown. It can only occur once every 15 seconds. That's overkill. If you're progressing in harder content like the Abyss, you're not really wanting to wear a 4-piece set that procs when something is defeated. Enemy HP pools get bigger, and you just need to constantly try to do as much damage here as possible. Now, also that drops here in the Clear Pool in Mountain Cavern. We're moving away from elemental damage. Sadly, ice doesn't have anything easily farmable in the game right now. but we do have some exceptionally powerful support options here. And the first one we're going to be talking about here is actually the Noblest Oblige. So this one right here is going to be an offensive supportive option for you to wear on your support type characters, your backline healers, your backline Nemo supports, your backline, anything basically. If you want to have this effect, this is not a damage dealing set. This is to support your damage dealers here. So the 2-piece here increases your elemental burst damage by 20%. And even though this isn't a damage dealer set per se, you will get some extra damage from the 2-piece. But what we're looking for here is the 4-piece set. Using an elemental burst increases all party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds. So if you have this on someone like Jean, who is fantastic with this set, she's going to get that extra elemental burst damage, which also makes her do a little bit of extra healing. But even if it's not on Jean, we're really here for that extra 20% attack from the 4-piece set here. That's going to give you some extra damage on your elemental damage supports, on your main damage dealer wearing that martial artist set, and it's going to be a fantastic time for you there. Now, moving away from the offensive sort of support set here that gives you that raw attack here, we're going to be going over to the Valley of Remembrance, which is one of the first areas you can actually gain access to if you explore a little bit outside of Springdale at the start of the game. And we are talking about 2 sets here, and these are more defensive oriented sets here. So we have the Maiden Beloved set, which is going to be your healer set. If you want extra healing, right, you can put this on your character if you're just not healing enough. And we're looking at, you know, those healers out there. Everyone kind of has access to her right now. You know who we're talking about, a little bit of a 4-star water support. Maiden Beloved 2-piece set, character healing effectiveness plus 15%. So just raw 15% extra healing. The 4-piece set here, using an elemental skill or a burst, increases healing received by all party members by 20% for 10 seconds. So this is a fantastic way to gain access to additional healing from your characters who are healing periodically over time, because this works on your skill or your burst. So that's just raw healing increase 35% there after you use that skill / burst there. Now, last but definitely not least of the domain farmable artifacts here, we have the Varidescent Venom set, and this is going to make your Anemo characters exceptionally powerful, increasing the elemental damage by the rest of your team. This is fantastic for those characters here, because the 2-piece set here increases that Anemo damage bonus by 15%. But what we're really looking for here is the 4-piece set. It increases your swirl damage by 60%, but the most important part here is it decreases opponents' elemental resistance to the element infused in the swirl by 40% for 10 seconds. This is fantastic. And to further describe exactly how this works, when you proc swirl procs with most of the other elements in the game not named Geo. So if you have wind plus fire, wind plus ice, wind plus lightning, wind plus water, the extra element there is going to have the decreased resistance to that element. So if you're swirling thunder damage, you're going to be reducing their thunder resist by 40%. So this works fantastically on the main character, on Sucrose, on Venti, all of those characters. This set is insane for you. And even if the enemy doesn't have any actual elemental resistance, say they're neutral to your element, they have 0%, you're still going to gain a damage bonus there, because as you go through and reduce them below 0, you are going to get half of the effect here, but it's still going to be an exceptional damage bonus there. Remember, Swirl can proc multiple different elements, so if you have, say, Fischl running around, throwing lightning damage everywhere, you have Shingling running around, throwing fire damage everywhere, and then you throw off something like the main character's Ultimate Tornado, or the main character's little sucking ability, or Venti's ultimate skill. You can swirl both those elements, and it's going to increase the damage to both of them by quite a lot there, because of those persisting effects from someone like Shingling or from someone like Fischl. So this is going to be an amazing set for you guys to get your hands on, and this is going to be what you're looking for as an elemental damage dealing team to increase your damage by an absolute ton. Now, while not technically farmable, I do want to mention these other 2 sets, because they are random world drops, and you guys have ran into them over the course of your adventures in Genshin Impact, and a lot of you guys might be overlooking these artifacts as well. So we're going to be talking about the Exile Set here. This is going to give you 2-piece, increases energy recharge rate by 20%. So the character who is equipped with this is going to have an easier time accessing their ultimate over time. The 4-piece set here, using an elemental burst, regenerates 2 energy for other party members every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So if you are looking to actually just have a team have easier access to their ultimate energy elemental burst skill, this is going to give you extra energy over time, especially if you have a team built around a character using this. Give this character easier access to their burst. The more times this character uses their burst skill, the more times the rest of your party can use their burst skill. And this can be very effective when playing solo. If you're playing a team that swaps in and out and you have enough healing on someone like, say, Barbara, you can get Barbara's ult pretty much very quickly. When she uses that, she's going to increase the charge rate of everyone else's elemental burst, and you guys are going to have a fun time there with that sort of a setup. Now, the other and final set I want to talk about is the Instructor Set. We've seen this a lot. Another random world drop here. This is also a very, very powerful supportive aspect for that little bit of extra damage, so don't overlook this set if you run across it in your travels here. The 2-piece set increases elemental mastery by 80. The 4-piece set, after using an elemental skill, increases all party members' elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds. So this is also another fantastic supportive style skill. If you want to increase your damage, maybe you have access to the Instructor Set, but not the Noblest Obliged set, or maybe you are running a high element damage team. 120 element mastery is going to increase the different effects that your damage dealers are doing with their elemental attacks. It also increases the amount of damage that you're doing with your elemental skill combos like Overload and Superconduct and Vaporize. So if this is something that you want to run, maybe a more offensive support artifact setup on your healer or on another character that you're using as a backline support, this could also be a very solid option for you. With that being said, guys, that's all of the farmable artifacts, the best ones in the game to get your hands on, spend your time, and spend that precious resin farming for in Genshin Impact. If you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead, check out the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.